Oh, my back. Oh, oh. Playing basketball today was the first time I think I did cardio exercise in probably 2 months. Although it was really fun playing with other people in my January term, it was just maybe too much to play 2 hours at a time. Maybe I should start in slower increments next time. As you may have noticed in the last video, I finally mentioned that I live in New York City.
Forcible touching pattern. Okay.
So if you haven't figured it out by now, I attend Columbia University, more specifically, Columbia Business School. Now, why didn't I tell you guys at the very beginning? Well, I didn't really want anyone in my entry term to perhaps accidentally see this on YouTube and have some judgments about me before we got to know each other. So now that we're at the end of our orientation week, I have already gotten to know, somewhat at least, the 70 people in my cluster. Although there's plenty more people out of the 200-ish January term entry that I haven't gotten to know yet. But I try to get to know some of them this weekend. So we had plenty of downtime. I actually ended up watching football a lot yesterday at the Falcons Seahawks game and today with Packers Cowboys.
I hope the Falcons get destroyed by the Seahawks.
I'm not much of an NFL fan, actually. I'm much more of a college football buff. It's expected because I went to undergrad at USC, so I'm a Trojan for life. Luckily for me, they played one of the best Rose Bowl games this year against Penn State. I still gotta wait for my friend who attended Penn State to come back from his winter break so that I can make fun of him for losing to our team, of course. The reason I'm combining this video with yesterday's is, well, one, I expect to be going out a lot more these days, especially on Saturdays. Yesterday I ended up being out for probably 10 hours. Another reason is I need to catch up on my sleep. In case it wasn't conveyed in the earlier videos, I was getting probably only 4 to 6 hours of sleep earlier this week, and that's definitely not enough for me to function. I'm an animal that needs my daily 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Before I came back to New York a week ago, the previous 2 weeks I was spending at my parents' home, and I was getting sleep like 8 to 10 hours every day, sometimes even more, up to 12. I was being a lazy, hibernating bear. And that's the only thing that sustained me over the first week of orientation. Otherwise, I would have passed out in class many times, although I may have done that anyway on accident. In the future, if I want to sustain a regular sleeping schedule, and I think I should because people tell me that you can't make up for lost sleep. It's not something that if you're missing a chunk here on Wednesday, oh, you can make it up later on Friday. They say that's not the case. So I'll take their advice. I'm gonna trust that I should try to regulate my sleep to 7 to 8 hours every day. That means I'm gonna take a lot less time doing other stuff. So right now, I've noticed that most of my time, especially the past week, has been 9 to 5 classes, school. Afterwards, a few hours of leisure time, sometimes consuming videos. I'm a very avid YouTube consumer. Over winter break, I probably watched 2-3 hours of videos a day, just learning about all sorts of things. This I started, I think, back in senior year of college, so like 5 years ago. And the past year, 2016, I accumulated more regular time of watching all sorts of content to broaden my knowledge. I love YouTube because it's a channel that allows us to watch anything customized to what we intellectually desire. Because of that, I thought, well, I'm consuming so much, but I'm not producing as much. That has led me to choose to become a producer of something every day, regularly. It doesn't have to be long, but I want to strive for quality over quantity, of course. Although with the production of videos every day, it's going to be both quality and quantity, I hope. So as I become a producer, I want to think about how I can become more efficient. I bought 2 mics that I've been using this whole time. I'm still tweaking around with the beginnings of becoming a YouTuber. Any helpful advice will be welcome. In the past few days, I've told a few really good friends from all over the world about my new channel. Some of them have seen the first few videos and have given me advice. My good friend Teddy in China has told me about how proud of me he's been since we attempted making a podcast nearly 2 years ago. Wow. So we thought about making a podcast because me and my best friend in his city were two expats that were really excited about life in that city. We wanted to use our sexy voices to talk about something regularly. So we only made it one episode before we kind of gave up because we thought, what can we talk about regularly that's interesting enough for people to catch on? Well, in the beginning, you might not have the best content, but that's something you should be developing into something better and better. Improvement comes out of forcing yourself to do something, which is something I've noticed this week already. It took me from 2 to 3 hours editing on the first few videos to now hopefully taking no more than an hour on anything. Time for a weekly reflection. When I first got to New York 4 months ago, I thought about reflecting on my life in chunks of every week. And I wanted to write something like a very profound quote about that week. I think I barely got past a month before I gave up. With this video production series, I think I'm forcing myself to produce regular content every day, to link what I'm learning in school with how I can apply it in my future. And this is really the biggest point of getting an MBA. Of course, you can learn this knowledge anywhere. You don't need to pay over 6 figures of tuition money just to learn this stuff. But the point is to figure out, with the inspiration of my fellow students, how to apply what I know in an optimal way to better this world. I have to admit, I had qualms before coming here. I mean, all this tuition money that I'm gonna have to pay back in loans in upcoming years. I thought, I will never be given this opportunity again in my life. So I gotta snatch it now. For me, it wasn't really a question of, oh my God, am I gonna regret it if I do this? It was definitely, how much am I gonna regret it if I don't do this? If I don't take this opportunity to document everything I'm doing, make it relevant for other people in their daily lives, to potentially inspire somebody watching this video right now, in the same way that I was inspired by the dozens of YouTube channels that I subscribe to and watch on a regular basis. So in a similar fashion, the theme of this YouTube channel is clearly me going through a top 10 MBA experience. But the topics I'm going to cover are going to be so diverse as what I consume on YouTube all the time. This also applies to the small things in life. I always get lazy about running errands, but sometimes you just got to get out of bed and do it. Like, I'm about to submit this work order for this microwave I have that smells like terrible fish. I can't believe I didn't notice when I moved in a week ago, but it's gotta go. Because, I don't want to be known as the guy that makes the entire hallway smell like fish.